He found me in the back row, far from the clinking glasses, the forced laughter, the thunderous applause for a man who had never worked a real day in his life. A stranger, tall, gray suit, no smile. He stopped beside my chair, blocking out the colored lights flashing across the ballroom. Everyone else was watching my wife's brother pose with the keys to his new Audi, pretending he had earned any of it. But this man, he was watching me. "You've been patient long enough," he whispered. His voice carried a finality that made my spine stiffen. He slipped an envelope into my hand, smooth, heavy, sealed. I felt the weight of something irreversible inside it. Before I could speak, he leaned closer. "It's time to show them who you really are." Then he walked away, disappearing into a crowd too blinded by privilege to notice anything beyond their own reflections. I sat there, fingers tightening around the envelope, pulse steady but colder than the champagne they served to everyone except me. From the podium, her father continued the speech, another sermon about success, pride, and real men. I didn't move. Not when the applause shook the floors. Not when my wife glanced back at me, her smile brittle and guilty. Not even when her brother raised his glass in my direction, smirking as if my existence amused him. I only looked at the envelope. And for the first time in years, I felt something shift, something dangerous, something awake. The night before the party had already been wrong. Small things. Things you notice only when you've been conditioned to stay quiet. My wife coming home late, smelling of a cologne I didn't own. Her phone face down, always. A message lighting up the screen, she snatched it faster than she breathed. Her sudden showers. Her new habit of sleeping with her back to me. But it was the silence that bothered me most. The kind of silence that grows roots. The kind that carries secrets. I'd asked her once where she'd been. A simple question. She froze. Then smiled too quickly. Too practiced. "Don't start," she said. "Not tonight. Please, not tonight." As if another night would be better suited for lies. Still, I let it go. Because that's what they expected of me. The quiet one, the outsider, the man they tolerated because she chose to marry beneath herself. Her family's words, not mine. Her father's disappointment was a constant presence. Her brother's mockery, predictable as sunrise. Even her mother avoided eye contact with me, as if uselessness were contagious. I endured it. For her. Or for the version of her I thought existed. But that version had been fading for months, replaced with someone sharper, colder, distracted. Someone who kept slipping into the hallway late at night, whispering, laughing softly. A laugh I hadn't heard directed at me in a long time. I knew something was wrong. But suspicion is a strange thing, heavy but formless. You carry it because you must. You ignore it because you want to believe. That night, in the back row of her brother's promotion party, the envelope pressed against my palm like a pulse. Confirmation. Or destruction. Maybe both. I didn't open the envelope right away. I waited. Because rushing is emotional, and emotions cloud judgment. Instead, I observed. My wife hovered near the stage, her eyes scanning the crowd. Not for me, but for someone else. She checked her phone twice in under a minute. Her fingers trembled, not from excitement, but anticipation. Her brother made another joke about factory workers, and the guests roared. My wife didn't laugh. She winced. Only for a second, but I saw it. I always see what they don't expect me to. When the lights dimmed for the presentation video, I slipped out quietly and walked to the deserted hallway behind the ballroom. Only then did I open the envelope. Inside, a printed set of phone logs. Photos, blurry but unmistakable. My wife. A man I didn't recognize. Together. Intimate. Comfortable. And a DNA test. My daughter's DNA test. My daughter. The word cracked through me, silent and merciless. The results didn't lie, but apparently everyone else in my life did. I felt nothing for a long moment, just stillness, just the hollow space where certainty used to be. I looked at the final item, a business card. No name, no title, just a number, and 2 words printed in minimalist font. They underestimated you. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I placed everything back in the envelope, sealed it in my jacket, and returned to the ballroom the moment the lights came on. My wife spotted me first. Her expression tightened, fear disguised as curiosity. "Where did you go?" she asked softly when I approached. "Just needed air," I said, my voice calm, controlled. She relaxed, relieved. She shouldn't have. I stood beside her while the celebration continued, emotions buried under steel. And quietly, strategically, I waited for the right moment. It came when the music softened and guests drifted toward the bar. My wife reached for her drink, avoiding my eyes. So I handed her the envelope. She frowned, confused, then opened it. Her skin drained of color before she even reached the photos. She flipped through everything, phone records, images, DNA test. Then she looked up at me. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. For once, she had no script prepared. "I can explain," she whispered. "I know," I said. She blinked rapidly, panic tightening her breath. "This isn't... I didn't think." "I know," I repeated. Calm, empty. She shook, holding the DNA test like it burned. "My father, he can't see this. Not here, not now. Please, we can talk." But I wasn't trying to talk. I wasn't even trying to hurt her. I was just done letting her define me. Her father approached then, face twisted with annoyance. "What's going on?" My wife tried to hide the envelope behind her, but he took it before she could stop him. The moment he saw the contents, his expression shattered. My wife whispered, "Dad, please." But truth has no patience for pleading. And her father had no tolerance for humiliation. He glared at her, then at me. Silent. But this time, silence belonged to me. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I simply said, "I've known for weeks." Her knees buckled slightly. Her father stared between us, disgust settling into his features. She whispered, You set me up." "No," I said, "you set the trap. I just stepped aside and let you fall." She covered her mouth, tears gathering, not from heartbreak, but from exposure. Her father turned away from her, muttering words he once reserved for me. Shame, disgrace, embarrassment. Now aimed squarely at his own blood. Her brother approached, confused. Then he saw the photos, the test, my wife's expression. His smirk died slowly. I didn't watch their family implode. I simply stepped back and let the truth finish what it started. My wife reached for me. "Please, don't walk away, not like this." I met her eyes, calm, steady. "You wanted a different life," I said. "Now you have it." She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Her father walked out. Her brother followed. Guests murmured. Whispers spread. But I was already moving toward the exit. No anger, no triumph, just release. Outside, the night air felt cleaner, colder, the kind of cold that clears the mind. I stood beneath the empty valet canopy, listening to the distant echo of a family tearing itself apart. Not my family, not anymore. I thought of the stranger who gave me the envelope, of the message inside it, silent but undeniable. They underestimated you. They had. All of them. And in their arrogance, they assumed quiet meant weak. That humility meant insignificance. that silence meant acceptance. They were wrong. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need their wealth, their name, their validation. I only needed the truth. And now that I had it, I finally felt free. The valet approached, breathless. "Sir, your car." I shook my head. "I'm not staying," I said. He nodded and stepped aside. I walked into the night. Not victorious, not broken, just finished. Some endings don't need noise, only distance. And I gave them all the distance they deserved.